What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into week number 1 of the NFL. Fitzy Perrault. We're going to be here with you guys all season. This is going to be fun as we get into all the picks, plays, early looks, survivor pools. If you guys are in them, well, we're going to give you some options here for us to talk. Pat, great to see you. How are you? It's football once again.
Doing great, Matt. Great to be on with you again. And, I've been getting ready for fantasy football for a long time. I feel like I've been in the weeds for that for a long time. I forgot how much I missed preparing for these shows and studying, figuring out what I wanted to bet every week. I bet some other sports during the off season, but it's just not the same, betting basketball or what have you. It's just not as enjoyable. And I love digging into the weeds and doing this. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I think this is my 4th show I'm recording today, and this is what I'm most excited about.
Well, it's fun because we're doing some new stuff here at BettingPros, obviously. If you guys haven't gone and downloaded the new app or updated the app, you should do so because there's some really cool features that dropped this week with the BettingPros app. But I talked about it on the Daily Juice a little bit, the fact that, we're trying some new things and trying to test out some new things. So we were doing Thursday live streams heading into Thursday, and we kind of figured, well, look at the whole week, people are talking about these games. We don't have to wait till Thursday to get into Thursday night. We can start talking about it on Tuesday morning and have this come out Wednesday and have a conversation about what the line might be for Sunday or Monday, even for Monday Night Football. So this is going to be fun every week to kind of go deeper into the lines and look at what will happen. And then Sunday, when we do the NFL live stream heading into kickoff, we can reference back to this video as to what we thought might happen. So really going to be a fun football year. I can't wait to see it on Thursday when the Eagles drop the banner, and then we'll see what happens overseas with the Chiefs game against the Chargers and whatnot. But let me ask you a little bit about your preseason work for betting, because it's different than fantasy, obviously, right? We're talking about usage and we're talking about what will happen for an individual player. How much does that help you when it comes to handicapping and preparing for a season long, talking about a prop bet or a prop market for a player or team come the whole year versus individually?
Yeah, I think the fantasy stuff helps with player prop research. For the team wins and totals, like that, some of the stuff we've been thinking about and working on, and with the numbers we've dug into, that matters for some of this side and total stuff. But there's also a lot more to consider: the defenses, the offensive line play, the coaching, the personnel moves, the coaching moves, all that factors in, the matchups and the trends, what happens when 2 divisional rivals go at it and how has that series gone in the last couple of years. So there are definitely more layers that we have to get into. And the fantasy research maybe helps you get a foothold, but there is a lot more you need to look at.
Was there a major storyline for you? For me, I'm a Patriot fan. So obviously the Patriots getting Mike Vrabel and getting what looks like a competent coach in place after what happened with Gerard Mayo, where it was just a mess and things did not look like it was going in the right direction. The Patriots cut bait quickly and added a competent coach. Was there a storyline for you that made headlines that was bigger than another one that may help you either bet or fade a team?
The Micah Parsons trade was kind of a big one.
Kind of.
And definitely gives the Packers a boost. We saw them go from, I think, 22-1 to win the Super Bowl to 13-1 and become the favorite to win the NFC North overnight with that deal. And, Dallas, I haven't looked at what their win total, that's the one thing I've neglected to look at, what their team win total is now, but I would imagine it's kind of crashed from where it was. And I didn't have great feelings about the Cowboys anyway going into the season. But man, we saw that. I'm actually kind of surprised the line didn't move more than 2 points after this, but I was lucky enough to get Philly at -6.5, and now it's at -8.5.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, you wonder, giving away a key player like that, if that just crashes morale on that team, and Dallas kind of becomes a punching bag this year.
It's going to be wild to watch, because I have made the analogy as a Red Sox fan that when Rafael Devers was traded, that the Red Sox decided to remove a cancer and send a player away that was going to be a major distraction. And the Red Sox took off after they traded away Rafael Devers. It's different in football, obviously, and Micah Parsons is a different player. He's a better player than Rafael Devers from a defensive perspective, and the impact he makes on the game. Just for example, the Cowboys are now 60-1 to win the Super Bowl at FanDuel. So they are very far. They're 7-1 to win the division. I still like them to win the division. Everyone thinks I'm crazy about that call. I still like the Cowboys to win the division. I think the Eagles are going to have a rough season when it comes to injuries. They had everything go right last year. And historically speaking, when a team avoids the injury bug like they did last year, and a running back like Saquon Barkley and a running quarterback like Jalen Hurts stays away from the injury bug, I think the injury bug might bite them. I can't back the Commanders for anything because their defense just is not something I want to get involved with. And I think the Jaden Daniels sophomore slump might be real. Like that could happen when the teams now have a lot of tape on him to watch and prepare for that offense for the Commanders. I don't love the Terry McLaurin deal. I think he's an aging wide receiver, so we'll see what he's able to put up with from a stat standpoint. So I still like the Cowboys not to win the Super Bowl, but I do think they could win the division. And yes, everyone's running away from the Cowboys. That's kind of a team why I'm like, maybe it's a galvanizing factor. Maybe it causes the team to circle the wagons. I don't like Jerry Jones, but like, is it possible that Dak Prescott and company, that they just outscore everybody?
Yeah, I mean, they could do that. I don't know if their line is as good as it was a few years ago, but they do have a lot of, their passing game is going to be crisp with Dak and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and Jake Ferguson. Yeah, and maybe like they could do an ensemble cast job with the pass rush with Sam Williams and Ezeraku, and like they've got a volume of pass rushers. So maybe they can kind of pull everything together and circle the wagons.
I mean, Cowboys fans obviously are praying that happens. Is that going to happen? I don't know, but their schedule is a third place schedule, and I think that's one big benefit. And look, Matt Eberflus could not be a head coach, but we know the guy can coach defense.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good defensive coordinator. So if that's his role, like Josh McDaniels with the Patriots, he's a great offensive coordinator. He's a horrible head coach. If Eberflus can get takeaways, which is what his defenses tend to specialize in, that can change football games. That can flip seasons if you're leading, if you're doing the little things to create turnovers. So I'm not nearly as far out on the Cowboys as everybody else is. And I even though I do know that people love to hate on Dallas, and I've been called all of a sudden a Cowboys lover, and I'm not. Like I'm a Patriot fan. So like you just like Jerry Jones, you're a Cowboys. I'm actually not. Like, I don't like the Cowboys. I don't like the Lakers. I don't like the Yankees. Like, I don't like any of those teams. I just see value in a 7-1 ticket now on the Cowboys to win the division, given that nobody has gone back-to-back in the NFC East since 2003, 2004, when the Eagles did it. So it's been a minute. It's been 20 years over since someone's gone back-to-back. But we can talk about the Eagles, obviously, and get into what's happening here with the start of the season, Dallas and Philadelphia. This number is 9 at Circa. It's 9, Pat. What are we? I mean, we're talking blowout here on banner night where it's a walk in the park for the Eagles?
Man, I mean, I felt pretty good about it at 6.5, Matt.
Yes.
At 9, I'm not so sure. I mean, that's a lot of lumber to play, even for a really good team that has as few weaknesses as the Eagles do. 9 points against a non-patsy opponent. It's a little too tall for me.
Divisional game. It's a divisional game to start the season. 9? I know teams that are coming off of championships who have opened up, generally speaking, do pretty well against this spread. I think it's 14-7-1 over the last 22 games that we've seen this. But I mean, it's a distraction night. I mean, it's a championship banner night. And you think about everything happened last year versus what happened this year, and you can get caught. I mean, the Patriots got beat famously a bunch of years ago on their banner night, and I don't think the Eagles lose the game, but I could see, how high do you think that number goes? Could we see 10 by the time we get to kickoff?
We maybe could.
Like, what's the 9 and 10? There's no real difference from a book perspective. 10's the key number.
And everyone wants to bet the opener. So there's going to be a big volume of bets
Oh.
coming in. And I think most of those bets are going on the Eagles. Maybe it does go to 10, in which case I might have to think about middling this, Matt, trying to middle it.
It's a good play. I mean, if you have 6.5, it's a great play.
It puts me right on that. A 7-point Eagles win, and the season gets off to a good start.
The total is 47.5. Doesn't it feel like most games involving the Cowboys will be overs this year?
And it seems like haven't the Thursday night openers hit the over pretty consistently in the last few years?
Yep.
So, yeah, I do think overs may be the way to go here.
KC and the Chargers overseas. Look, I hate betting overseas games, and I can't believe that the Chiefs are giving up and the Chargers are giving up games like this. The Chargers giving up a home game on top of that against their biggest rival in the Chiefs to go overseas. One, what do you make of a handicap involving an overseas team? Because last year we saw it with the Eagles and the turf being a problem. What do you make of the Chargers hosting the Chiefs?
Yeah, I kind of don't want to touch it, Matt, because of the overseas factor, the travel, the fact that the Packers and the Eagles played on an ice skating rink last year in this game. It just, maybe it makes me want to lean over with defenders falling down and things like that, but I'm probably just not going to touch it.
Yeah, numbers 3, it feels right. I think the Chargers, if they were at home, I think they would be live to win this game. I think they still have a really good shot at winning this game.
Sure.
I think the Chargers are going to be a tough out against anyone this year. And I think that the Chiefs are going to have a step back year. Nobody wants to acknowledge that, but people picking the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl, I kind of laugh at and go, what are we doing? Are we just assuming, yes, it's Patrick Mahomes, but the AFC is going to be far more difficult. In the AFC West, it's going to be as difficult as it's ever been since Patrick Mahomes has entered the NFL. He's got 3 teams that all can beat him on any given Sunday, and that has not been the case for a while. The Buffalo Bills, they got to walk in the park in the AFC East, but the AFC West is really, really difficult this season with the everyone loving the Broncos, the Raiders looking comparable, and the Chargers like we talked about. Any shot in your mind that KC does not win the West?
I think it's possible, and I think Denver would be the team that could take them down because that probably is the best defense in the NFL right now. But if the Chiefs have their offensive line fixed, and it seems like maybe they could. I mean, they stole Josh Simmons at the end of the first round, like getting the best pure tackle in the draft because he was coming off this knee injury, and then he turned out to be A-okay. And took part in training camp and all that and is ready to start at left tackle. Like that's the secret sauce. Like if they have the offensive line fixed, I think they're going to win the division, but Denver could be a problem.
Like I mentioned, guys, the BettingPros app has been updated. If you haven't already, check it out. It's been updated. If you haven't gotten it before, highly recommend you check it out. Track your bets, stay accountable, and level up by downloading the BettingPros app with Sportsbook Sync. Automatically track your bets across all major sportsbooks in one spot. Easily monitor your bet performance by sport and by bet type, including game picks, props, and parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities, and you can use the code JUICE to get a 7-day free trial of BettingPros Premium. That's the code JUICE, and activating your trial on the upgrade screen. Okay, we're going to give 3 bets that we're watching that we might make. Now, it's a capital M, might, underscore, italicized, might, okay? These aren't plays per se, but these are plays that we might make in numbers that we are watching for Sunday. Pat, you can go first. What's a market? What's a bet you're looking to make come Sunday?
Texans, Rams under 43.5.
Whoa.
I'm always kind of looking at unders in week 1. I think the defenses tend to be ahead of the offenses coming out of, what little amounts for a preseason these days. I know our colleague Andrew Erickson has been on the under for this game for weeks, if not months. The Texans had one of the worst offensive lines in the league last year, quite possibly the worst. And their first big offensive line personnel move of the offseason, they traded away their best offensive lineman, left tackle Laramie Tunsil. Like this line is going to be really bad again. And good luck keeping Jared Verse away from CJ Stroud in that opener. And good luck running the ball with post-knee injury Nick Chubb working behind that offensive line. But the Texans do have a nasty defense. They ranked third in defensive DVOA last season. The edge rushing tag team of Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter is truly fearsome. And, Rams QB Matt Stafford probably isn't feeling too nimble these days with the back issues he's been having. So the Rams have good cornerbacks to match, the Texans have good cornerbacks to match up with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, led by Derek Stingley Jr. I just think Texans Rams turns into kind of a low scoring taffy pull, Matt. Like, I love the under 43.5 here.
I like it a lot, and I think you made some really good points about where the Texans are, and I don't know what to make of the Texans offense, to be quite honest. I think we've got I think it's a big year for CJ Stroud. I think it's also a huge year for DeMeco Ryan, I think, to go out there and prove that, like, the start to his career as the head coach wasn't a fluke. So I don't know. I'm going to wait and see in watch mode. If I'm going to back the Texans, I got to see some improvement here over the next couple of weeks to start the year, but I like the under. For me, it's also an under. It's Pittsburgh and New York under 39. I don't think the Jets are going to score at all this year. I think the Justin Fields-led offense is going to be run and run and run. They have Garrett Wilson, and what else is really part of that receiving core that's going to scare teams? And if you have a decent secondary, you can take away Garrett Wilson and make them run the football. On the flip side, you have a new defensive coordinator / head coach, and you've got a guy who did a great job in Detroit, now coming over and taking over this defense. There's a lot of talent on that defense for the Jets, and I don't know what to make of Aaron Rodgers. I have no clue what this offense is going to look like in Pittsburgh out of the gate. It might look great. They might run the ball really effectively, but I think both teams want to run and play defense. Under 39, and it's been dropping. It opened up at 39.5. It's dropped down to 39 or 38.5, depending on where you're looking. But how do you feel about under Jets Steelers?
Pretty good. I think it's a excellent call. It's hard to see this game getting to 40 points. And, Aaron Rodgers having to get in sync with a new cast of pass catchers, which isn't really that talented, a cast of pass catchers other than maybe DK Metcalf. And, Metcalf doesn't strike me as a guy who is going to pair well with Rodgers, being the timing guy. Rodgers loves it when receivers are in a certain spot at a certain point, whereas DK Metcalf is just I'm going to run down the field and throw it up for me and let me just snatch it away from whoever's trying to guard me. So, yeah, that and, Justin Fields, I know, like, in what little preseason action he saw wasn't real sharp. Like, these are two of the worst groups of pass catchers in the league. I don't know who's going to make a play in this game, Matt. That's the issue.
I find 39 in the market. There's a couple of them out there, but it opened at 39.5. Circa's down to 38.5 already. Bet number 2 for you, Pat. What are you looking at?
Seahawks plus 2.5 at home against the 49ers.
Divisional game.
Yeah, and I know divisional games can be unpredictable. This line just seems so disrespectful to the Seahawks. Like, are we just going to pretend the 49ers didn't finish dead last in the NFC West a year ago? I mean, they were 6-11. The Seahawks were 10-7. And the 49ers are favored on the road in one of the toughest places to play in the league for a road team. Like, the Seahawks have a better defense than the 49ers. I'm confident in that.
Wow.
And yeah, it's going to be a well-coached unit under Mike McDonald. And I think Seattle could have a top 5 D this year. They have a big special teams edge based on what we saw last year. The Seahawks were 10th in special teams DVOA, the 49ers 31st. Hello, Jake Moody. I know the 49ers have a much more well-regarded offense than the Seahawks, and that's fair. But, like, new offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak is going to make a difference for Seattle. And I think we saw that in the preseason. I know it's only the preseason, but the Seattle first-team offense looked really good. And the Kubiaks always have a good running game. For years, it was Clint's dad, Gary, working his run game magic in Denver, then in Houston. Now it's Clint using that same outside zone scheme to great success. And he's got his dad's old offensive assistant in Rick Dennison, who's going to help the running game go in Seattle. And, that line was always a problem last year for Seattle. First round pick Gray Zabel looks like he's going to be an instant, like, Pro Bowl type guy. His preseason tape was incredible. He's just a furniture mover in the running game. So I love Seattle in the 2.5 points, Matt. I think Seattle wins outright.
Woo-hoo, how about that? Look, divisional teams right now taking home dogs in divisional games early in seasons has been very profitable. So I like it. My second one, and this is my team, Raiders catching 3 on the road against the Patriots. I think everyone is sleeping a little bit on what the Raiders are going to look like, in particular early in the season when they're going to have their offensive line healthy and they're going to have Ashton, Jeanty without having a lot of tread on the tires right out of the gate. They have a comparable quarterback in Geno Smith, and everyone is in love with the Patriots. I like the Patriots. I'm not in love with them the same way that everybody else is, because I don't know how quickly Josh McDaniels' offense is going to be picked up upon by Drake May. And look, I hope that it's awesome. I mean, I hope it's quick, but the amount of money that's being bet on the over and the fact that people are thinking they're out of the gate, the Patriots are going to blow the doors off the Raiders. Like, this is not a midseason trip for a West Coast team going east. This is the first game of the year. So this is plenty of, fresh legs and get into your routine. And Pete Carroll is a really good coach. I like Mike Vrabel a lot. I think it's going to be really good long term. But out of the gate, I got big questions about what the Patriots are going to look like here. And everyone just thinks that they're going to win 10 games and this is an automatic W against the Raiders. I get 3 points. The Raiders might win the game outright. And the Patriots are going to be left going, what just happened? How do you feel about the Raiders and the Patriots?
Yeah, because it's week 1, are you less concerned about the West Coast team going early for an early start game? Yeah,
Yes.
I would not want to make that bet in week 8.
Agreed.
That way. But
100%.
week 1, it's probably not going to be that big a factor. You figure they're going to be in town a couple days early and acclimated to the time change. So
it's a Pete Carroll revenge game. I mean, he's going back to he hates the Patriots. The Patriots hates him. I mean, there's just so much bad blood here. I mean, his team's going to be ready. I mean, there's no debate in my mind. The Raiders are coming into Foxborough focused.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, the Raiders are a live dog, and their personnel is not bad. Like, I don't think their secondary is great, but, can Drake May and just a kind of a so-so group of pass catchers take advantage? I don't know. So getting 3, I kind of like that bet.
Number 3 play for you this week.
Oh, it's going to be another under, Matt. It's going to be Giants Commanders under 45.5. And for me, not to want to bet the under in a week 1 game with a total of 45 or higher, it has to be a couple of good offenses and a couple of less than stellar defenses, or maybe just a couple of great offenses. Like, I'm not interested in betting the under in Ravens Bills, for instance. But Giants Commanders, 45.5 seems way too steep for any game involving the Giants this year, who I think could be an under machine. They were the second lowest scoring team in the league last year. Only the Browns scored fewer points. Their week 1 quarterback is Russell Wilson, who is clearly past his sell-by date. The Giants defense looks pretty imposing. I mean, they can come at opposing quarterbacks with Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and rookie stud Abdul Carter. Like, that's a pretty fearsome pass rush right there. And no disrespect to Jaden Daniels, who's terrific, but the Giants defense is legitimately scary now. I don't know if this game gets to 40, let alone to 46. So under 45.5 looks real good to me.
Now, I'm the Giant hater here, so I'm on the under 5.5 wins for the Giants this year. But my handicap on that fits right back into what you're talking about. I do think their defense is going to keep them in football games. I don't like their offense at all. You can tell me about Malik Neighbors all you want, but I just don't think the Giants have an offense or a quarterback worth really being afraid of. It could be 13-10. I think most of the games this year are going to look like that for the Giants. Low scoring, rock fight type football. And then maybe later in the year, they'll start to get more loose and more developing of younger players on offense. But I'm with you. I think this game is a dead under just because I don't think the Giants are going to score. And I don't think the Giants give up many points. Are you high on the Giants in the regular season from a win total perspective? Do you think they go over 5.5?
No, and their early season schedule is murderous,
the whole
schedule
is murderous.
Yeah, which gives them the perfect excuse to
play
pull
Jackson
the plug
Dart
on Russell Wilson, play Jackson Dart late in the season, just kind of audition him. And I don't expect Dart to be able to win a lot of games. So I'm with you. Like, I don't have high hopes for the team, but I do think they're going to be in a lot of rock fights with this defense. Like, the defense is pretty fearsome.
Yeah. My final one, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna watch this number, and if it goes to 6, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna tease it. But after 2 straight years of the Bengals losing on the first week of the season, and last year taking out everyone's survivor pick, and we'll do some recommendations for that here in a second, I'm gonna lay the 5.5 or the 6 with the Bengals on the road against the Browns, because the entire preseason has been focused on this football game. They want to end the narrative. They want to get out there and put up a ton of points. And I think the Browns are going to be god-awful. And I don't think they want to win. I don't think they're trying to win. Whether it's for Arch Manning or somebody else, the Browns are fielding a team that just isn't respectable on both sides of the football. I'll lay the 5.5 points on the Bengals. Will you follow me? Will you come with me on this boat, Pat? Because we're going to be alone with some people because they've been the darlings of the upset world every week one.
Here's where I'm going to have to push your boat out to sea and wave to you from ashore. Matt, I don't know if I have enough trust in the Bengals defense, even against a really bad offense. I'm kind of haunted by what we saw in that preseason game against the Washington Commanders, where every Commander running back who touched the ball was breaking off huge gains against the Bengals, what I think was mostly their first team defense at the time.
Yep.
So that's just kind of terrifying. Do I think Joe Burrow is going to pick his teeth with the Browns defense? Probably, unless we get some sort of hellacious weather in Cleveland, and always possible we get the wind tunnel effect there and the passing game doesn't work so well. If it was closer to a field goal, I could maybe go with you there, but it's what? Did you say, is it 5 or 5.5?
It's 5.5 right now.
5.5.
It's going up. It's not going down. It's going up.
Right. If you're going to get the Bengals, now is the time to get them. But this one might be a stay away for me.
I think the Bengals in a big way finally get that monkey off their back. Guys, we talked a lot about highlighting edges already on this show. You can do that with betting systems. That is something you can find on the BettingPros app. Our system tool is designed to help you find winning strategies to make smarter bets. You can customize your betting systems by sport, by bet type, and time frame to find the best opportunities using real-time data and expert analysis. Track the performance of different betting systems over time and optimize your opportunities to succeed. Download the BettingPros app today or go to bettingpros.com/systems to elevate your betting strategies and start making smarter bets. Survivor contests, picks, and strategies. Pat, I'm in a couple. I know you're in a couple. Let's talk about it. Everyone and their mother, everyone is going to be fading the Saints all year. Fact or fiction?
Fact. In fact, the idea of taking the Cardinals as a road team in a survivor pool, that's counterintuitive to everything we think about survivor pools. And yet people are going to do it against the New Orleans Saints in week one. I personally don't have the guts to do it, but I think that is the bronze medalist pick for me when I'm looking at survivor pool possibilities in week one.
Do you have rules about survivor picks? Because I have rules.
I generally don't like taking a road team at any point.
I'll take road teams. I will never pick a game involving a divisional rival. Ever.
Yes, avoided.
I will never, ever, unless I have to and I have no choice and nothing is left but a divisional game. I start the schedule by going through in Dallas and Philly, cross it off. You just go through Chiefs and Chargers, cross it off. They're not even possible conversations each week for me when it comes to divisional games because they are wonky and they do not go the way that you think they're going to go.
Yeah. So Dallas Philly is the one where I'm generally with you on that.
Okay.
But I just wonder, has the Micah Parsons trade coming so soon before this season, was that a morale wrecker for the Cowboys?
Okay.
And I just, I don't know if the Eagles are going to lay an egg on banner night. You know what I mean? Yep. So
possible.
That's definitely one of the games I'm looking at this week.
Divisional game. I can't do it. Secondly, to your point, big road favorites, be really wary. Be real wary of a 7.5 point line, 8 point line for a team going on the road. It's the level of disrespect and the fact that players take their foot off their gas and they think it's going to be an easy W, and it's not. So I'm often very, very worried about that. And then revenge spots. Like I don't like if there's a story like Pete Carroll going back to New England, for instance, okay? Those types of angles, whether it's fact or fiction, whether it's real or not, I tend to go and look for something else because I don't want to get bit and get knocked out because somehow a coach was able to rally and get his troops to go up and storm the mountain just one time. It's only one game. If we're wrong once, we're dead in Survivor. So I tend to look around. So you look at Dallas, my number one, the only play that I will make, and I think I'm putting every single Survivor contest I've got, is on the Denver Broncos at home against the Tennessee Titans. It's a home team. It's a 7.5-point spread. It's so similar to the Patriots on the road last year up against the Bengals. Like the scenario, the numbers are the same, the handicap's the same, but I don't think Sean Payton gets beat the same way that Zach Taylor got beat last year. I like Denver to win. How about you?
Yeah, and having rookie quarterback Cam Ward sort of get thrown to the wolves in his first
at
game
Mile High.
At Mile High against this defense that can bring the pass rush from so many different positions and that has just an ice cold secondary. Yeah, like, I mean, the Titans defense could be pretty decent with Jeffrey Simmons leading the way up front, and the offensive line should be better and healthier. And what if Cam Ward is good right away? So I've been trying to look at reverse engineering this and figuring out how this could go wrong. But man, this does look like a pretty good percentage play here. Like it would be really hard to see the Titans going in and winning this game.
Anything else? I like Denver. You look at Dallas. Anything else you like from a Survivor perspective?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Bengals as one possibility, but I know a lot of people got burned by them last year.
You got cojones. You got stones.
Yes.
If you picked the Bengals in week 1 last year and lost, if you go back to the well, in particular, if you're in a high stakes Survivor pool, you got some. I'm going to tip my cap, right or wrong. I mean, you are a gambler if you pick the Bengals.
Yeah. So I mean, I know a lot of people. Like if you don't like picking division games, I get it. If that is your policy, I understand it. It's generally good policy. And I do think a lot of people will want to save the Eagles for later. But looking after at their schedule, like after week 1, road game against the Chiefs, home game against the Rams, who gave them their toughest battle in the playoffs, at Tampa Bay, home against Denver, at the Giants, at the Vikings, home against the Giants in week 8. So really, none of those games look like layups until that home game against the Giants in week 8. And, maybe if you want to take them, I don't know if you'd ever want to take a road divisional game against the Giants. So, I do think there's a case for the Eagles. Right now, I'm kind of torn between the Eagles and Broncos and might actually split my 3 Survivor pools on those.
So no Seattle. You were pretty high on the Bengals.
Oh,
there.
No. I'm Seattle's a road or they're home underdog. So yeah. I like them, but I don't feel confident enough to pick them in a Survivor.
I'll give the NFL credit. There are so many divisional games in week number 1. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 divisional games.
Jeez.
So there's a lot. So it makes week 1 even more treacherous. And that's why I think everyone is going to be on Denver. So if you are a chaos theory person like I am, I love watching Survivor pools blow up. And that's why I told everybody all last summer the Patriots were going to beat the Bengals. And because everyone was running around all year long saying, take the Bengals, take the Bengals. It's a very similar refrain with the Broncos. And I know I'm running right with the masses and I could be running right off the cliff with everybody else. And so I don't mind your thought of saying everyone's going to be taking the Sunday games. I'll take the Thursday game and get out of the way because the Eagles losing would be somewhat stunning to the Cowboys. It's just what scares me is if the Cowboys defense, again, with Matt Eberflus, is better than we think. And then all of a sudden we have Dak throwing a very good secondary for the Eagles, mind you. But if Pickens all of a sudden turns into this amazing number 2 weapon and the Cowboys are going up and down the field on this Eagles defense, That's my one concern with that game. So none of these games are easy. It's week one. Every Survivor game is going to be a sweat in a lot of ways. We'll ask you one more. Rams hosting the Texans. Can you take the Rams in a Survivor pool?
No.
Not with Stafford's back, right? You can't trust it.
Yeah, not yet. Just like the Texans defense is too good for me to feel comfortable with that game.
Yeah, it's going to be week one is a minefield. This is going to be fun to do this every week, but week one is an absolute minefield. Just survive in advance. Like if you're in a Survivor pool, just hope you get past week one and week two, because those 2 weeks last year in the Circa Survivor, which this year will be close to $20 million in the prize pool. Last year, 35% got knocked out in the first week.
Wow.
They had to go back and offer a rebuy and let people back in because they had so many people knocked out in week number one. So if Denver loses, it's the same scenario. It's going to knock out 40% of the entire field will get knocked out in week number one. Guys, want to track all your wagers in one place? Check out the BettingPros Pick Tracker. It syncs up with your sports books to tally picks, hits, and which misses and which don't. Plus, it gives you a live look at what the public is doing so you can see real-time tracking data to determine which plays to make and which to fade. That's on our users, by the way, which is kind of neat. You can get a feel for how the BettingPros users. It's not like we're going behind the counter of a sports book. We're actually taking it from our data, our own people that are using the app. And that's hundreds of thousands of people who are going to be entering in these bets. They're going to be able to tell you guys what they're picking to either fade or follow the Betting Pros community. You can track your picks today with Betting Pros Pick Tracker at bettingpros.com/tracking or on the Betting Pros app. All right, let's talk about Sunday a little bit and what may be looking as a play. Is there a bet that you like, a bet that you would make right now that you'd lock in for Sunday, a pick, a prop, a future, something that you'd bet right now?
One last bet I want to make on a division winner,
okay.
Matt, like last opportunity before the regular season gets underway. The Seattle Seahawks, like I hinted at this earlier, they have the longest odds to win the NFC West at 5-1.
I'm against you, by the way.
Yeah.
I bet the Niners at plus 150.
Interesting. Yeah. So
plus money on the Niners. So I was like, you give me plus money on the Niners? Got to take it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same Niners team, Matt. And
but still McCaffrey though. I mean, you still got Christian McCaffrey back.
Yeah. It's a running back. Like I'm not betting a team to win a division based on a running back. Seattle, I think I think they have the best defense in the division. Like with Mike McDonald, who I trust immensely, coordinating it. Calling the shots, Leonard Williams and Reed and Dexter Lawrence up front, and these young up and coming pass rushers, and Devon Witherspoon headlining like one of the more talented secondaries in the league. And I kind of trust Clint Kubiak to get this offense going. Like I know there's still not a lot of love out there for Sam Darnold, even after the even after the redemptive season he had with the Vikings last year. But with everything else Seattle has going on, like, I think Darnold will be good enough to get the Seahawks over the top, and at least in contention. And I like the pot odds here at 5-1.
It is a great numbers play. I'll give you that. In a division that is pretty wide open with the Rams, questions at Stafford, clearly the questions around the 49ers, everyone just thinking they're going to pick right back up after one down year, but that defense has still got some problems and some question marks. And Seattle is a very tough place to play. I mean, going to Seattle is really hard. So the Sam Darnold thing makes me worried because I wonder how about Kevin O'Connell, how much of it was him versus how much of it was Sam Darnold. So how much was it the offense and the quarterback whisperer, if you will? I mean, the numbers and all the bets on J.J. McCarthy. Everyone loves J.J. McCarthy to have a monster year under KOC with the Vikings. I guess we'll see whether was it Darnold or was it KOC. We'll find out once we get to JJ and see what he looks like. So for me, in terms of extra bets that I would make, I still would really look at Ashton Jeanty. If you haven't gotten involved in the Ashton Jeanty market yet, I would really look to do so. I bet over 7.5 rushing touchdowns for Ashton Jeanty this year, and I think he's going to vulture a lot of touchdowns from players that get knocked out at the 1 or the 2. And the Raiders are going to run the ball. Like, that's just what they're going to do this year. And I know it's a rookie, but I don't mind backing rookies that look like Ashton Jeanty because I think they have the ability to break a lot of tackles and to be highly effective in the red zone. So Ashton Jeanty over 7.5 touchdowns, if you can find it, I think is a good bet for him. And offensive rookie of the year isn't a bad play either with Ashton Jeanty, just because I think of usage, he's going to be getting a ton of carries. Where are you on the offensive line for the Raiders? How big of a concern is that for you?
Oh, I think it's adequate. I don't think it's going to be a problem for Jeanty. And I mean, I love the contact balance, Matt. It's
Right.
like his contact balance is truly extraordinary. Like, you have to just clobber that dude to get him off his feet. It is not easy. Like, he does not want to go down. And
Yeah.
like, I am with you, pretty much slam any Ashton Jeanty over.
Yeah, I think rushing yards is 1075, which is not a ton. If he stays healthy, he should get that. So there's a lot of Ashton Jeanty markets I think you guys could wind up getting into as well. Anything on Sunday that you think should be bet right now from a numbers perspective? Any game that you would fire on right now?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm totally with you on the under on Steelers Jets. Like,
Yeah.
I just
I would take that now. That number's that's I'm with you. I'm on the same market where if you can find 39, take it, because that thing might be 36.5 by the time we get to kickoff.
yeah, and man, like, I'm a Packers fan, but like, Detroit has completely had our number since Dan Campbell has gotten there. And like, for Detroit to, they started as a dog even before the Packers traded for Micah Parsons. And now Detroit is getting 2.5 points and they're plus 124, looking at DraftKings right now to, plus 124 on the money line. Like, I'm probably going to bet Detroit on the money line.
Ooh, it's going to be a lot of fun. Week 1 is here. Every single week, you're going to get Pat Fitzmaurice and myself, Matt Perrault, breaking down the NFL lines, the look-ahead numbers, the survivor pick options, and bets that we're going to be looking to make before we get to the weekend. Make sure you hit subscribe if you've not done that so you're alerted whenever these videos go live all season long. For Pat, I'm Matt. We'll talk to you next week for week 2 of the NFL early bets and survivor pools here with Betting Pros.